Stay tuned. Alright guys, so I'm going to start out with my Milani brown eyebrow pencil, and I'm just going to outline my brows. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and take my LA Pro concealer in the shade Fawn, and I'm going to just outline my brows. I'm also going to take that same concealer and I'm going to cover my lids with that as a base for my shadow. Alright, so now I'm just going to go ahead and take my Real Technique brush and I'm just going to buff that out. Alright, so now I'm going to take this sample from MAC. It's the shade MC42, and I'm going to go ahead and create the scar for Scar Look. Alright, so I'm going to go in with my Morphe 350 Supernatural Glow Palette, and the first shade I'm going to use is Powerful. Now I'm going to go in with the shade Rare One, and I'm going to go ahead and blend that into that orangish reddish color. Alright, and then I'm just going to go back in with that same brush that I used for that orange shade, and I'm just going to blend out a little bit. I didn't add any extra product. I'm just trying to get rid of that line of demarcation. Alright, now I'm going to go in with the shade Night Vision, and I'm just going to darken up that brown shade I put on there previously. And I am patting that in at first, and then I'm kind of moving it around into my crease. Alright, so now I'm going to take my LA Pro Girl concealer on this really fine brush, which is the same brush that I use to outline my brows, and I'm just going to cut my crease. Alright, so now that we've cut that crease, we're going to go ahead and set that with the shade Sighting. And then I'm going to put the shade Superpower on top of that. Alright, so before I go in with the shade Superpower, I'm going to spray my brush with my Morphe setting spray so I can really pick up that product. Alright, so I'm going to go back in with that shade Night Vision just to go ahead and blend out that cut crease a little bit and give me that real gradient ombre effect. Alright, so now I'm going to go on with my Maybelline Fit Me Foundation in the shade 355. Alright, so now I'm just cleaning up my scar. After I use my foundation, I'm going to go ahead and add a wing liner and lashes. And boom, this is how we looking so far, y'all. Alright, so I'm going to go in with my LA Pro Girl Concealer in the shade Fawn. I'm going to put that on my forehead, under my eyes, down my nose, on my chin, around my nose, and on my upper lip. So now that I've blended out that concealer, I'm going to go ahead and use my Black Radiance contour stick, and I'm actually going to go around my cheekbone and down my jawline to give me a more defined, sharp jawline look. So now I'm going to use my Kylie Jenner's Chi concealer all around my mouth to give me that real lion, lighter skin tone, if that makes any sense to you guys. Alright, so I just used a little bit of that Kylie Jenner concealer and actually put a little more under my eye just to give myself a brighter look. Alright, so I'm just going to go back in with that contour stick and I'm going to contour down my nose again, around my cheekbones, and I'm also going to define that area around my mouth. Alright, so now I'm going to use my Sacha Buttercup to set under my eyes. And then I'm going to go in with the banana powder around my mouth because it's a little lighter and it doesn't have that yellow look to it. So it's going to really give me that shade I'm looking for. Now I'm going to go into my Black Radiant Contour Palette and I'm going to use the darkest shade, and that is what I'm going to set my contour with. Alright, so now I'm going to use any old beauty supply store black eyeliner, and I'm just going to make that line from my nose to my upper lip. I'm going to outline my upper lip and then shade it in with that black pencil. Now this probably would have went a lot better if I actually had black lipstick instead of having to shade my lip in, but you know, we got to do what we have to do and make it work. Alright, so now I'm going to use my e.l.f. eyebrow pomade, and I'm just darkening that black eyeliner up and just patting it into my lip. So now that I've cleaned that excess concealer off my bottom lip, I'm going to use me a brown beauty supply store pencil lip liner and just outline my lip at the bottom, and then use my everyday beauty supply store lip gloss just to give my bottom lip a little bit of a glow. So now I'm just cleaning up the excess around my lip where the gloss was. And I'm just kind of blending that powder back into it. And then I'm actually going to go back in with the Sacha Buttercup right there on the corner just to clean it up so that way that lip gloss doesn't run down my lip. Alright, now to complete this scar look, I have to have the bottom scar, guys. So I'm going to go back in with my LA Pro Girl Concealer on the same brush that I used to outline my brows and to use for the top one. I'm just going to go ahead and carve out the bottom scar. Now, one thing I noticed is I did make the bottom scar a lot longer and wider. So I did have to go back in and kind of widen the top scar part out just to kind of make it even. Now I'm going to take my liquid eyeliner and I'm just going to trace out my nose. Now instead of doing it flat across the top of my nose, I kind of dipped in and gave myself like a curve, because you know I've noticed a lot of their noses kind of heart shape a little. So like I said, I kind of made a little heart shape, and then I just shaded that in with my liquid liner, and then I went back in with that e.l.f. eyeliner pomade, and to get that shine to go away, I made it flat and matte like my lip. I just, you know, use my finger and dab that on there. You guys will see. So as you can see, I kind of smeared a little bit at the bottom of my nose. So I'm just going to put a little more concealer right there and then buff it out with my brush. Alright guys,